KVOX News Channel 4. I'm Chambray, your anchor.
And I'm Mitch.
It's 3 a.m. on this lovely morning, and we have an exciting broadcast in store for you. Our top story today is Sparta killing too many babies.
Yeah, man. We have our top reporter, Randy Jackson, on site at Apothees in Sparta.
Over to you, Randy.
Thanks, Chambray. I'm Randy Jackson here with Lycaris at... Wait, where are we again?
This is Sparta.
Whoa, did you just throw a baby off a cliff?
Timmy was weak and hardly worthy of being born.
How could you tell at such a young age?
He was tiny and full of tears. He could not respect me as a man.
What do
How
you
does this make you feel? You feel weak like that baby.
How do you think his mother would feel about this?
He must have the value of the city. It's her fault for finding such a weak and pathetic mate like you, Randy.
Does this help out the city? This is for the city of Sparta?
We will dominate all with supreme warriors. Like how
Alright.
American Idol dominates the stratosphere of Fox News.
Alright, you heard it here. Sparta is okay with killing weak babies. Back to you, Chambray.
Wow, thank you for that, Randy. What a story.
I want to know if Lycurgus cried as a baby. I know I came out a man.
Not me, Mitch. I came crying out like a normal baby.
Oh, did you now, eh? How did your mom justify keeping you then?
I don't know. She always called me her special snowflake.
Special snowflake. You would have melted in Sparta.
Thanks, Mitch. On that note, we're going to take a quick break to hear a message from our sponsors.
Who's going to sponsor us? Nobody sponsors us. Ah, this nonsense.
Hobbs, help me! I'm pregnant!
I'm sorry, ma'am. I can't. Your life is just too cruel and brutal. Plan A doesn't work. So in the state of nature, go with Plan B.
What are these gonna do?
They will pop the baby out. They help pop the baby out.
Plan B has been helping get rid of these babies and problems since 1972. This is what it's used for, and this is what it'll always be used for. Fuck, that was terrible.
Go for it.
Welcome back from our commercial break.
Earlier we talked about the logical ways in which Spartans used abortion to promote the growth of champions.
I would hardly call that logical. More like infanticide.
You're just jealous. I would have been a champion.
I beg to differ. The modern perspective makes much more sense, which leads us to our next segment.
Interview with a boring modern.
Actually, we are very fortunate to have Randy Jackson on the scene with Rawls.
Over to you, Randy.
Thanks, Mitch. I'm here with John Rawls to get a modern perspective on abortion. Rawls, you often speak about the original position. Would you mind going into depth?
About this? About the original position? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Alright, so original position, let's talk about that for a minute. You got the governments coming around trying to regulate and get everyone's business, right? That's just wrong, Randy. You need to open up your mind. Let's move on. So, with the original position, what we need to have a collective group of people putting out their principles, and then we can really find what justice is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I understand.
Okay, you'd think you do. Anyway, so we're going to move on here. I found these two people here, this nice little couple, walking down the street, so I thought, hey, Randy's not very good at his job. I'm going to interview someone. It's going to be cool. Here we go. So I brought you two in here. What do you two think about abortion?
Well,
Stop.
I think the woman has the right to choose in the first trimester.
It's very interesting. So, I want you to think of this concept here. I call this the veil of ignorance. Now, behind this veil of ignorance, you cannot decide what you are or what you could be. What if you ended up as that fetus? What would you say then?
I think there's definitely certain situations I wouldn't want to wind up disfigured from chemotherapy because my mother found out in the first trimester that she had cancer. I wouldn't want to wind up addicted to crack.
Interesting. Anything else you two have to say?
Hey, Rawls.
It doesn't really. What was it?
Rawls, I think the man has something to say.
Thank you.
Anyways, moving on from there.
So, Rawls, what do you think about what they had to say?
I would say that this woman over here has a collective opinion, and as long as she was found in an original position with her other collaborates, then I guess it would be valid. However, in my personal foundings, I agree with her that during the first trimester of her pregnancy, the woman does have the right to choose whether to abort that baby or not.
So you're all for abortion?
Yes, I would say so in the first trimester because it is not a person. It does not have the same rights as a full human being at that point. Anything else, Randy? You good?
I think we got what we needed to hear.
Awesome. Back to you.
Thanks, Randy. Now, Mitch, how do you think the Spartans would respond to the modern opinion?
Weaklings. The moderns wouldn't waste vulnerable supplies on less than adequate children, only to create a much weaker society. We must value champions to carry out our city to victory.
Didn't Sparta fall apart?
Yes, it did. And the reason is because they didn't value the individual as much as they did the city. And ultimately, what I think is going to be beneficial for the long-term evolution of our society is an equilibrium that's found between valuing the individual and the city, or should I say society. So, we have to take the integration of the Spartan way of thinking and the modern perspective and come to a consensus about how both matter and both mean something. So, with that said, we're going to cut to commercial of the DJ Rap Philosophy.
We're going now. My name is Socrates and my thoughts are collective. That's cause I'm from the ancient perspective. I'm no detective, but I suspect it's the case that you don't think my methods are effective. Now it's time for y'all sitting in your chairs to shake off the shackles and crawl out of your caves. And I know when you look up at the sun it may seem bright, but my name is Socrates and I will bring you the light. That's it. Ancient philosophers be sitting on their rears on the shade of trees while stroking on their beards, ragging on guys that do all the work. Man, you old men just sound like a bunch of old jerk. I know it's gonna be tough, but you might as well face it. You can't see the light when you're living in your mom's basement. I harness the light with a solar panel so I can turn up the TV and watch the Weather Channel. Technology has changed the face of our culture. Now we have Einstein in our bedroom wall posters. Now Socrates, I noticed that you be smelling a little musty and your thoughts make me cough because they looking real dusty. This modern way of life is just better, just trust me.
Oh! And we're back. Let's head over to Mitch with the weather.
Alright, here we are with the weather. It's actually about the environment. The energy environment. Whether or not the moral implications of this question of abortion come down to be deciding about the implications of the environment, the energy environment. How should I say that's going to dictate whether abortion is just or not? When the carrying capacity of the Earth is maxed out, well, ho-hum, what are they going to say about abortion? Seems like it's raining today. What do you think, Chambray?